and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing today? How's your weekend? How was your weekend? How was your weekend? It was a full weekend. We had Juneteenth. We had Father's Day. So it was a full weekend. Did y'all have a good weekend? Is your week off to a great start? Is your year still good? Well, anyway, I hope it is. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate y'all. I know what y'all gonna say. Sometimes you just got to take a little break, right? Sometimes you got to get some things done. But I'm here this week and we're going to talk about, we're going to do a little recap. We're going to have a little conversation. Then I'm going to let y'all get on out of here. But anyway, so I just want to thank every single one of y'all for pulling up. So whether you are watching me live on YouTube, Facebook, whether you're catching us on a rerun, replay, whatever y'all say right now, I see you, I love you, and I appreciate you. So anyway, so what y'all been up to? Y'all been good? This show still worked the same. I know a little week passed, but it still worked the same. Let me know you here and I will shout you out. So let me go ahead and get some housekeeping done. I'm going to shout y'all out or whatever, and then we're going to get into tonight's show. So as always, y'all know I got to get my housekeeping out the way. Please make sure that you're liking, subscribing across all platforms. You already know. Well, for my new listeners, y'all might not know yet. But anyway, on YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period or you're going to be somewhere else, right? Come and join the forum. Relationship Soup Group, y'all. Relationship Soup Group on Facebook. And if you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoupLLC. And y'all already know what I'm going to say. Hello, me. Hello Me is my 100-page affirmation picture book for children, y'all. Look, it's in the Children's Museum now. So if y'all are local in Indianapolis, Indiana, go get y'all a copy from the Children's Museum. You can get it across all platforms from Amazon to Kindle to Apple. Hello Me is everywhere. So anyway, you need to gift a baby with the gift of positive words, which we're going to get into tonight, right? Let me kind of show y'all one of these pages. I'll be trying to tease it a little bit, show y'all a little something. This is I for intelligent, right? So anyway, y'all got to copy y'all copy. I know y'all got some nephews, some cousins, some children, some grandchildren, as my elders used to say, children. I know y'all got some children that need this book. So go ahead and get your copy. All right, y'all. Hello Me. So anyway, y'all, how y'all been? What's new? Anything new with y'all? Let's see here. What's up, cousin Desiree? Thank you so much for joining me, beautiful. You know I appreciate you. You don't miss. You don't even miss. Even when I ain't here, you here. And I appreciate that. Kiki. Hey, Kiki. How are you, beautiful? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. It is June. It is the summer baby season. So happy birthday to you, Kiki. Happy birthday to all the June babies, soon to be July. Y'all already know that's my birthday month, right? So anyway, happy birthday. I hope that your week is still going well. All right, y'all. So let me go ahead and get into some things. So tonight, I just kind of wanted to do a little recap of one of my previous shows because it was so, sometimes you have those shows or you have those conversations that just stick with you. That was one that really stuck with me because I'm one of those ones where I believe that we go through things in life for a reason, right? Everything is for a reason. I don't think that anything is just because. And we all have a story to tell. And it's either to teach a lesson, learn a lesson, both, or whatever. I've always just believed that. And so what I really wanted to do with this episode is my guest, BAGG Daddy. Y'all remember when I interviewed him? And, I've been thinking about his interview. It's been replaying in my head. And I've just been thinking, what was the lesson? How can I apply that to my life? What did my listeners get from it? Now, some of y'all did reach out to me and we talked about the show or whatever, but I just kind of wanted to bring it back live and just reflect. It's not to replay the show. We're not doing that. We are not replaying the show. Okay. It's just, of course, about reflecting. Y'all know how I feel about reflecting and doing a knowledge of self and just looking at self and those things. So tonight we're going to ask some hard questions because that's how growth happens, right? And this show is pretty much to figure out if and what parts of that show can even be applied to your life, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Of course, Kiki, you're very welcome. I appreciate you. All right, so boom. So when I'm thinking about his interview, one of the first things that stood out to me was something that, from what I knew about his story, conversations with him, and his bio, grace. Now, we've talked about grace on Relationship Soup before. I know that I've learned my lesson with grace. Some of y'all commented when, talking about grace and some of the lessons you've learned. And, one of the lessons I did learn was applying grace to self, because for me, it was very easy. I'm giving everybody else grace except for me, right? So one of the most powerful moments for me during that show, and tell me what y'all think about this. Now, y'all remember when BAGG Daddy was talking about his mama, right? And he was talking about, what she went through. Like one of her best friends actually murdered her baby, right? And she came home one day to find her baby floating in the bathtub, right? Well, let me say unalived. Okay, unalived her child. And so she spiraled, and she had some habits and different things like that. And let's be honest, some of us do have very complicated relationships with our parents. Am I lying? Some of us do have complicated relationships. And some of us are waiting for apologies. Some of us are still carrying the wounds from the relationship with our parents, right? But one thing I really heard about that conversation was perspective. And I heard someone who, BAGG Daddy was able to reach a place of being able to wear his mother's shoes, see her pain without minimizing his own. And I was thinking, wow. It also made me think about that episode. I don't know if y'all remember that episode I had did with Jacoby Russell several episodes ago, where he was talking about his mom, and it was a very abusive relationship. I feel like that same grace, similar grace, I won't say same, similar grace showed up in this episode, right? BAGG Daddy was like, look, even as a parent now, I see what my mother went through. I see her, and so he went to talk about that. And then he went on to say how people should be forgiving to their parents. If you got your parents still around, just, try to see them, forgive them, whatever. Right. And I think that was really profound. Right. And if you do have both of your parents, I'm not telling you what to do. I am saying that maybe if you are carrying something that could really help you. And that's something that I'm really grateful about, because even my late father, and, rest his beautiful soul, and, happy belated Father's Day to all of y'all. One thing I really appreciated was just being able to have those conversations and being able to really reflect, like, because of course, no parent is perfect. Y'all show me a perfect parent, right? No parent is perfect. And so just being able to reflect, conversations I had with my dad, it's just like, okay, I understand now, right? Which really helped to, deal with some things. So I just thought that was really profound when BAGG Daddy had actually talked about that, right? Because how often do you put yourself in someone's shoes, whether it's your parents, whether it's in a relationship, right? Or whatever. Do you really take the time to say, well, hey, let me put myself in their shoes, right? Let me try to understand, right? So it's just something to think about. Hi, Mark. How are you? Oh, that's a blessing. If you have both your parents, Mark, that is a blessing. Hold on to them. Get it. Talk to them. Whatever. You got to do what's right for you, because, I don't try to enforce my will on anyone. I'm just speaking from the perspective of, I wish I did have both of my parents, right? I have my mama, but, it would be nice to have my daddy too, because I sure miss his wisdom. And, I wonder what my father would say about some things that I'm experiencing in life now. Like, what would my daddy say? Right. So anyway, mom lost her youngest sister 2 weeks ago. Oh, my condolences. My condolences. Loss is never easy. Well, for me, it hasn't been easy. Loss has been something else. And, I appreciate you saying hello from Durham. All right. So let me ask y'all this. So have you ever reached a point where you understood something about your parents when you got grown that you didn't understand when you was younger? If you feel comfortable putting in the chat, put it in the chat. And what was that thing? What was that thing? Let's see here. Where else do I want to go? Something, we always, okay, not always, that's an overstatement. Now, I've talked about being a mirror that has come up in previous conversations or whatever, right? Now, in the last episode, BAGG Daddy was talking about looking in the mirror and affirming himself. And that really resonated with me, not just because I wrote Hello Me, right? Those that know me and have watched some shows, affirmations and speaking positive is really important. And one thing that he said it really struck me. He was 17 years old, because y'all know at 17, he lost his vision. So when he was starting to lose his vision, when he was in the group home, and he wasn't with his mom, he was in a group home. She was suffering from addiction and things like that. And he was starting to lose his sight. And he talked about how nobody believed him, and how when he looked in the mirror, he would say, "You cannot lose. I cannot lose." Listen, I don't know who needs to hear that tonight, but when adversity presents itself in life, it could just feel like you losing, like you a loser. Not labeling you that. I'm just, speaking. Like you lose relationships, you lose a job, there's just so much loss that can happen. And what's interesting, the way that BAGG Daddy put it together was, it's like he didn't necessarily look at it as a loss, even though he lost his vision. He lost his mother not long after losing his vision. It was a redirection to him, and he kept on affirming to himself, "You cannot lose, you a winner," and all of that. And I think that was just so profound, because some of the lessons that's coming to me is, when you're losing, are you really losing, or is it a redirection, right? And I say that because, okay, let me share a story with y'all. I promise I'm gonna get back. Now, my book, Hello Me, and it's not a shameless plug. I really need to share this, because I was really in my feelings this whole process, because this wasn't something that just happened overnight. Like, it was process to it, right? This is just an example. Now, I remember, I'm gonna get an illustrator. I went through 7 illustrators, 7. Okay, I love that number, but 7, right? And then right before I found the freelancer that I'm keeping forever, I had this other freelancer or whatever was going through the book. Oh my goodness. I was like, okay, finally. But then didn't work out. Book was terrible. And I'm up here really in my feelings, right? I'm a water sign, so I'm a little sensitive. So I'm in my feelings, and I'm thinking, I'm tired of this, and I'm, I ain't gonna lie, I did shed a couple tears, because I was really passionate about this book. But the beautiful thing about it, it was a total redirection, right? It was really a blessing. And one thing I posted not too long ago, it's an affirmation that I posted, is, in divine mind, I cannot lose. I can't lose as per divine mind. There is no loss, right? And so, just even in my moments of quiet and even in reflection, what seemed like a loss was really a win. It was a lesson. It was something that I gained from it, a redirection, which isn't necessarily a loss. So anyway, have you ever felt that way? What was something in your life where you feel like, oh man, I lost? Like, maybe it was a relationship, maybe it was a marriage, whatever it was. What was it? But it really turned out to be a win. Now, this is something that I want to say, because when we lose things, okay, or when loss happens, it really can feel like rejection. We go through all the human emotions. I know I do. I'm just going to speak for myself, right? We go through all the human emotions. We feel like we're failures and things like that, right? And I'm not saying don't feel that, because I really think it's important to not ignore being human, because you got to be human first. Experience those things, right? It's okay to feel weary, right? It's okay to feel weary, because if I'm honest, there's areas in my life I'm weary. I'm very weary. Right? But I still keep it at the forefront in my mind. I cannot lose, right? What's mine by divine right, what's meant to be by divine right will be. So anyway, I just thought that was really interesting when he said that, because I really do believe that things do have a way of coming back together, of working out for the highest good. And I know it's probably somebody that's a Bible scholar in my in the thread. But I really do believe that Romans 8:28 is real, that all things work out for the good. I really do. Well, at least for my life, is showing me that. And I'm not going to act like I know where every aspect of life is taking me, because I don't. I really don't. I'm in the dark with some things. However, I do believe that things can work out. So do y'all feel that way? Is it just me? I don't know. Let me see here. Mark says, I understand they have faults too, but also understand they parent you as long as both on earth, whether 8 or 8. Oh, listen, they do. They do. And that really made me think about something that my daddy has said to me. He was like, he still saw me as the little girl with the 2 long ponytails. He still saw me as that little girl. Is that how it is, parenting? Y'all still be seeing y'all grown kids as babies? Is that how it works? Do it work that way for real? But anyway, I know that my father has said that to me, and that really always stuck with me. So Mark, when you had posted that comment, it made me really think about that. So anyway, let's see here. Where else do I want to go? Ooh. Okay, now y'all remember, we didn't use these words exactly, but one thing BAGG Daddy was talking about was identity. Okay, we didn't say it explicitly, like we didn't say use the exact word, but that came up in the conversation. Now, where am I going with that? Okay, this is where I'm going with it. As y'all know, BAGG Daddy was blind. He was blind, and he did not allow his circumstances to define him. And if you follow him on Instagram, listen, I'm like, blind where? Blind where? You know what I mean? Like, he did not let it define him. His childhood traumas. And y'all know he was probably, there was assumptions made. He was left out of stuff just because of his condition, but he did not let that stop him. He did not let that define him, right? And so, I see y'all. And so what it really made me think about is, how many of us are still carrying identities that we shouldn't even carry anymore, that no longer fit? Maybe somebody said that you were a failure 20 years ago. Maybe somebody told you weren't smart enough. Maybe an ex told you ain't nobody gonna want you, right? Maybe somebody told you that you weren't fine enough, you weren't attractive enough, you weren't beautiful enough, you weren't handsome enough, right? People forever labeling, right? Maybe somebody told you that. And have y'all ever really sat down to think if y'all still carrying that stuff? Like, are you still carrying stuff that could possibly be messing up how you moving now, whether it's in a relationship, maybe because your ex was stank and treated you a certain way or said certain things to you, that you are still carrying that identity and it's messing with how you move, right? Maybe you're not pursuing certain goals because somebody told you, nah, you ain't it. You can't make it, right? Have you ever thought about that? It's just, when I looked at the interview again, and even during the interview, that really resonated with me. Okay, I see y'all comments. Let me bring on a couple. Let's see here. Kiki says, I definitely believe things will work out. Sometimes the wait sucks. Oh man, the wait. If I tell you anything, the creator, especially these last few years, have taught me patience, right? I hate waiting. Okay, I ain't gonna say that. Forgive me, I'm just playing. The wait can be very challenging. It can be very challenging, just waiting for things, especially when you have these plans and these ideas and you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do and it still ain't happening. That wait, it can definitely suck. Hi, Derek. How are you, Mr. Norris? It's been a minute. I hope all is well with you. Oh, hey, Aunt Anna. You still that little girl to me. I know. Mama used to have my hair laid, didn't she, with the little ponytails, long little ponytails and stuff. Things will work out, but it's the wait. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Yeah, absolutely. That wait. But, one thing I'm learning about the wait, just even when I'm reflecting, is I feel like it happens in the perfect timing, divine timing. I really do believe in that. And I wouldn't wanted it any sooner. Like Hello Me, I wouldn't have wanted Hello Me no sooner. I wouldn't. I needed to be patient and wait for that. I needed things to come together, the right people, places, and situations for that to come together, because now things are really aligning, just as an example for Hello Me, right? People's in the right position, the right teams. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted it no sooner. It wouldn't have been the same project, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Mark says, we let people's perceptions impact us. We have to get out of our heads. Absolutely, we do. We have to. And I think that goes with, that's part of the renewing of your mind too, right? I know it sounds like I'm preaching. I know it ain't Wednesday or Sunday yet. I'm just saying that the world and, people that were around us, especially when we were really impressionable from that age of 0 to 21 or something like that, when your brain is still developing, those perceptions are very real. They're very real. Trump is very real. All of that, right? Let's see here. What else y'all got? All right, I'll bring on some more of y'all comments later. So anyway, I think for me, and y'all tell me for y'all too, one reason I feel like I related to BAGG Daddy so much is because a lot of us probably know what it's like to be underestimated, knows what it's like to be counted out, assumptions made and stuff like that, right? And of course, a lot of us probably cannot identify with him being blind, having that physical limitation, just the things that had came with it and what he talked about. I feel that really helped me to relate to that, to his interview and him a great deal. So that's just me. What y'all think? What y'all think? Mark says, we cannot control God's time. Tell me about it. We can work on making it happen, but we can't rush our treasure. Absolutely. We absolutely cannot. We cannot. Can't rush it. Divine timing is everything. And even though I know that a lot of us are geniuses, intelligent, brilliant, and all that, we probably got this life thing down a little bit. Can't rush the Creator's time. Divine timing is always best. I feel that way. Y'all feel like that too? Y'all feel like divine timing is best? What y'all think? Like I can't rush our, oh Lord. Anyway, now Mark, if I'm not your divine selection, then that's just, it ain't what it is. I'm just saying, because there's divine timing, divine selection, all that. Look, and that's another affirmation I had put out there, y'all. What's mine by my birthright, I cannot lose. Right? What's mine by my birthright, I can't lose. It's mine. People, places, situations, all that. I'm just saying. People make assumptions. We all have limitations. That's fair. All right, so let me go on and move this on. Let's see here. What else did he talk about? Ooh. When he talked about vision, not sight, but vision. Remember, he said something about having a relationship goal, a relationship plan, a life plan, having plans like business plans and all that. Y'all remember when he talked about that? That was so significant, because let's be honest. Can we ask ourselves this question for a reason? I mean, for a moment. How many people do we know, including ourselves, that can see perfectly, but have no vision for life, for their lives, or even our lives? Right? No vision, no goals, no purpose, no plan, no nothing. Right? So even though some of y'all probably didn't agree with what his lifestyle was and things of that sort, I can respect that he had a plan. Like he had a plan, even like when he was breaking down polyamory or whatever. Look, it ain't just this, it ain't just sex. It's a plan. Like he talked about what was involved in that plan, legacy, everything. Like he got so deep with it. And so do y'all really do that now? I am not dismissing living in the present, staying in the moment, right? I'm not dismissing that at all, because that's really important, right? And I know even biblically, what is it? Now, y'all don't roast me, because I guess I should have practiced before the podcast, but I don't even be practicing all the time, y'all. A lot of times I just go with it. It's Habakkuk. Did I say that right? Habakkuk in the Bible. Anyway, and in the importance of writing down your plans, making your plans known, right? Even though we know that there's divine timing and God's timing and plans and all that, I think that's a good thing to write your plans down, to have a plan, right? What y'all think? I'm just saying. Hey, Keith, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. I do. What you think, Keith? What's your vision? All right. So anyway, I just think that there's a lot of wisdom in what he said. Like, how many of us spend more time scrolling and doing other things versus making plans that could be beneficial for our lives, right? So that's just something that I really thought about. Like, how many times have you been in a situation where you want things to get better, right? But you ain't even making no roadmap for it. Like, hey, I want this, but you ain't making no roadmap or no plan for it, you know? So what y'all think? Do y'all have visions for y'all life? What about the next few months, right? 10 years from now, do y'all have a plan? Have y'all been moved to make a plan? I'm just saying. Mark says a lot of people be walking around in a daze. You know, I can see that. Maybe it's days, maybe it's distraction. These comments, y'all. I see y'all comments. So anyway, having plans is just really important, right? I just really think that there's wisdom in having a plan, having a vision, right? Because I feel like if you don't decide, life will decide for you, right? And back to your point, Mark, I do feel like there are people that are walking in a daze, or, you know, or just walking around or whatever, but without focus. But I feel like there's a lot of distractions out here. There's so much going on. I don't know. To me, it just seems like life's more now than it did back then for me. It just seems like there's so many more distractions. There's so much more going on that sometimes you have to be very intentional about getting quiet and sitting down and making plans, because it's always something to do. And I don't know about y'all, but these days seem shorter. And I was on like one of the social media platforms the other day, and it was talking about how like the time seems shorter. Do it seem shorter to y'all? And it's not because we grown. I don't feel like it's because we grown or adults. Like, time really feels shorter to me. I don't know. Is it because we have more of a concept of time? I'm just saying. Hey, cuz, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. You know, I appreciate you. All right, so let's see here. So what's Keith up here talking about? I believe every man should be on his purpose. By being on your purpose, the good Lord will bless him with everything that aligns with it. Helpmate, friends that are going to be your support system. Absolutely. I think there's a verse about that. Something about, anyway. But yeah, absolutely. I think walking in purpose is a beautiful thing. I feel like I'm personally walking in purpose, right? And not perfect with it, still trying to still figuring things out, still gaining understanding, gaining wisdom and knowledge and stuff like that. I'm blessed for the purpose that I feel like I am walking in. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and get on with it, because y'all already know. Y'all already know what today is. Do y'all know what today is? Y'all already know. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about resilience. Resilience. That's even one of my little affirmations in the book, right? But my question to y'all, how do y'all define resilience? How do you define it? A lot of people walk around saying, I'm resilient. I am resilient. I'm resilient. Resilience, right? But what does that mean? What does that mean to y'all? If y'all had to define it, what does resilience mean? Does that mean that you don't cry? Does that mean that you're never afraid? Does that mean that you never get weary? What does resilience mean? And just even when I thought about BAGG Daddy's interview, there was so much resilience there from my definition. And for me, right? Y'all put something in the comments yet? Okay. For me, resilience is just being able to get back up. Even when the world says you shouldn't, even when them people saying you shouldn't, whether it's your support, whether it's just whoever, yourself, because sometimes you are your own worst enemy, right? But I believe that it's just being able to get back up. I don't think that it doesn't mean that you don't cry. It don't mean that you don't feel weary or none of that. That's part of it. That's part of your human experience. But resilience to me says to keep going, even when life gives you every reason not to, when circumstances give you every reason not to, but you keep on going. It means getting up one more time. It means believing in yourself, telling yourself you can't lose. Even if the 3D world is showing you that you losing, if you will, that you like, nah, I can't lose, right? It's being able to renew your mind enough to see beyond that. Now, I'm not just giving you fluff, because when you in the moment, like I will always say, you got to be human first. You have to be human first. I'm not just giving you no fluff like, oh, no, but I just feel like resilience means to surrender to your circumstances, right? And I feel like that's one reason why this conversation mattered. It really comes at a time when there's so much adversity in life that you just feel like giving up. Like when everything around you just seems like nothing is coming together. Nothing, right? Not even conversations with yourself is coming together. So I just really respect the conversation that and not GoDaddies. I knew I was gonna say that because earlier when I was reading, I saw GoDaddy. But anyway, BAGG Daddy. That's why I really do appreciate the timing of his interview and him sharing his truth. I really do. Crying is something we all need to do. I can say crying for me, and I know the jokes because I'm a water sign, but I do be crying. I do. It be stuff to make me cry. I really do. But you know what? What is it? Crying may endure something. Grief may endure for a night, but there's joy in the morning, or whatever. For me, that's proven true, right? And there is science out there. Don't quote me. Y'all can look it up. Y'all can ask Chat or AI. I know y'all got access. I know y'all got Google real close. But crying is actually very therapeutic. It helps to release stuff. And there's some type of like good hormone that comes when you can cry, right? So I say crying is all good. If you get knocked out, you pick yourself up. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Get back up. Y'all remember that Mike Tyson game, right? Mike Tyson's Punch Out. When you got knocked down and you get back up. No, y'all remember that? I'm aging myself. I'm just saying. All right, so let's see here. To be resilient is persistence and determination. Absolutely. All right, so let's see here. What else y'all got? Because y'all know I'm about to get out of here in a minute. Brazilians is standing 10 toes down and 2 heels die in, especially when it comes to your principles and boundaries. Absolutely, Key. All right, so let's see here. Now, before we close, thank y'all all for listening tonight. Y'all know I really appreciate y'all. So I really want you to seriously ask yourself, what's your story? What's your chapter? And what are you telling yourself lately? Can y'all be honest? What y'all telling yourself? What are y'all telling yourself? Are you saying you're too old? Are you saying that you're too broken, too inexperienced, too afraid, too late? What is the story you're telling yourself? Right? Pinky releases endorphins. Yeah, that's what it is, endorphins. I knew it was something that feel good. Right? I know something that feel good. Tyson's Punch Out. Please, I'm timeless, Derek. I'm timeless. I'm just saying. Many people don't really appreciate the resilience of others, so it's hard to see them in themselves. I can see that. I can really see that. All right, so back to what I was saying. So what story are y'all telling yourself? What's your story? What's your chapter? What chapter are you on now? And maybe tonight, and maybe even when BAGG Daddy was on, you made the decision that it's time to rewrite. It's time to renew your mind, or at least start the process, because I don't believe it's something that you can do overnight. I think it's piece by piece, just to take the pressure off. Now, some people might be able to do it. I don't want to limit anyone, right? Because I don't know what your journey is. But for me, I like to take the pressure off a little bit, piece by piece, because I feel like this world, for me, it's a lot of pressure. Because I can remember times where it wasn't all these distractions. And yes, I'm still timeless, Derek. Hold it, cut it, don't say nothing, right? Um, it just seems like there's just so much out here to put the pressure on. Like you see, like even social media, like I've really started limiting my social media because sometimes it's just too much, right? Sometimes I just need a break from it. But there's so much pressure. Oh, you should have it together, and if you should have this type of relationship, and if you're this age, you should have this and all that. It's just so much pressure, and so that's one reason why I like to talk about taking the pressure off, because there's so much in life. Now we have social media. Now we have technology. Now we have all these things that we have access to show you things that we didn't have to show you before, and so it's just a lot of pressure. So I'm saying that take the pressure off. You don't have to rewrite your whole story today. You don't even have to write a chapter today. Maybe it's a sentence. Maybe it's just a word to start that process to get you in a place of moving forward and not being stuck. I think that's just really important. That's just really, really important. I have a long story. Oh, yeah, Gregory. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Right. Let's see here. Vicky says, when life keeps beating you up, but you keep the faith and you get back up. Absolutely. Faith is everything for me. I'm not pushing my belief system on nobody. Y'all got to move how y'all got to move with it. But faith is everything for me. It's everything. Sometimes that's all I got. Really, that is all I got at times. Right? Chicken, steaks, or fish for dinner. I don't know yet. It's about to be good though. It's about to be good, whatever I get. Whatever I get. Like today was so busy. Like this was a busy day. And I'm thankful for busy. I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful that I'm able to experience it. But y'all know my Tuesdays be crazy. I'm telling myself to move with more discernment and confidence. Be more matter of fact about all that I do. That's fair, Keith. That's fair. Yeah, that confidence piece. That's really important because, like I said, there's just so much that we're exposed to now that it can mess with your confidence a little bit. It can. I can be honest, right? It can mess with your discernment, your confidence, because with so many distractions, to me, I feel like that makes your discernment not as clear. That's just my opinion. Maybe your story's a little bit different, but that's just how I feel about it. What else y'all got for me? Because y'all know I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to get out of here. Y'all got anything else? Did I miss any comments? Let's see here. Yeah, I am. Y'all know I'm hungry. I'll be hungry. Let's see. Internet makes it seem that way. Remember in the day when it was like 3 or 4 TV channels. I don't know about 3 or 4 TV channels because I remember that little apparatus. Okay, y'all. Take a trip down memory lane with me. Okay. Do y'all remember that box? I don't know. It was like a apparatus where it was when you got cable and it was flat and you could take it was a little button that you can just like move it back and forth like that. That's what I remember, right? I remember it being a few channels. Now, all the channels before cable didn't come in clear though. I remember that. If you local, it was like channel 4 back in the day. If you local where I'm at, channel 4 was a fool. It was all fuzzy, right? And that what Sammy Terry used to come on? Was it channel 4, y'all? That Sammy Terry used to come on? That's local though, right? Let's see here. Society tries to set rules, have kids by 30, be married by 25, have a house by 40. Absolutely. It really does. And that's not everybody's story. That is absolutely not everybody's story. And, that's a question I ask too, Mark. And that's something I talk to my students about. Who sets these rules? Because since when is life cookie cutter? When is life cookie cutter? Life ain't never cookie cutter, right? One thing, that I think a lot of us have in common is we were born and we gonna die, right? I don't even, I'm just saying, like, that's why it's so important for you to take the time, just take the space, even if it's 2 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever. You have to do that because this world will dictate your life for you. by telling you by 25 you should have kids and be married, or be married by 25 and then have kids by 30. That definitely wasn't in the cards for me at all, right? And I can appreciate, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Then I can really appreciate. I remember Dr. Frances Cress Welsing even talked about, even in the Black community, as per her opinion, that she felt that Black families shouldn't get started, that you shouldn't have your first child until the age of 30 or later than 30 or something like that, right? I don't know. I think it's just important for you to assess what's going to work for your life and not be pressured by a mold. You can't be pressured by that. I was actually on a post the other day. It was a comment on this. It was this reel or whatever, and there were women. There was this woman who got in there talking about, oh, I'm late 30s, right? I think she said she was like 38 or something like that, and it's too late for me to have children and all of this, and it's too late for me to get married. And I'm like, who said? Who said? Right? I remember my doctor was saying how a lot of her patients are well in their 40s, some in their late 40s, right? So I think that, again, that's why it's really important to really sit down and look at those things and really look at renewing your mind. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Because this life will dictate to you, and you running around here trying to keep up with the Joneses, maybe not materially, maybe in other ways, and it ain't even your story. It's not even your journey. And then you done just cheated yourself out of life because you trying to live somebody else's life or somebody else's standard. Personally, I'm cool. I don't want that, right? I don't want that. Not saying that I do everything perfectly. I want what is my journey, what is my purpose, what's for me, what's mine by birthright. That's what I'm striving for. When I was born, we did not have a television, only radio. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So I'm just saying. I think this is really important. All right, so here's one of the last comments. Saying is, we know her birthday. We don't know our death date. Importance is what we do with the dash in between. Yes, I've actually heard that. That is very important. What you do with the dash in between is really important. All right. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get myself out of here. Thank y'all so much for showing up and rocking with Relationship Soup tonight. All my listeners, y'all know who y'all are. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. And if this episode blessed you, moved you, or introduced you to a new seed or something, right? Share it, right? Share it. Make sure that you're liking, subscribing across all platforms, y'all. And I'm going to bring those up in a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Did I do my affirmation? Oh, I was about to get out here without my affirmation. Let me go ahead and say that. See, y'all don't be reminding me. Sometimes I need a reminder. I do. I need a reminder sometimes. All right, so I'm going to put this in the chat so that you all can see it. All right, so the affirmation that I have, give it a second. Okay, so the affirmation that I have is, I release the past. I trust divine guidance. I embrace abundance and purpose and stand strong on the foundation built from every challenge. I trust God. I trust the divine plan for my journey. And so it is. So that's the affirmation for today. I hope that, like I said, that this show resonates with you all. I really sincerely do. So, of course, let me go ahead and say my little housekeeping before we get out of here. Please make sure that you're liking, subscribing across all platforms. On YouTube, it's Relationship Soup, period. You got to put the period. If you want to join the forum, it's Relationship Soup Group. Get in there, share your experiences, right? Make some friends. There's some good people in the group. If you want to follow me, it's RelationshipSoupLLC. And then don't forget, hello, me. That's my 100-page picture affirmation book for children, right? Available on Amazon. If you're local, at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis, on Apple, Kindle. It's everywhere, y'all. Get hello me. You ain't got no excuse. We got hardback. We got paperback. We have the ebook. Get it. That baby deserves it. That baby deserves it. I'm just saying. All right. So is there anything else? Do I have any other comments? No? All right. Well, I'm about to get out of here, y'all. So again, thank y'all so much for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I wish y'all all love, light. If you're going through loss or anything, you're gonna be all right. You can't lose. You can't lose. All right. So with that, until we meet next time, peace.